Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you guys are having a good day. In this episode of Music Den, I have another segment of live album spotlight for you. It is this album right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Alchemy, Dire Straits Live. This is the newly expanded and remastered edition that is made available through the Live 1978 to 1992 box set that came out in November of 2023. There's a lot to unpack with this album, so with your patience, I will go through this album with you. Alchemy Dire Straits Live was originally released on March 16th, 1984, through Warner Brothers in the US and through Vertigo in the UK and in Canada. Upon release, it reached number 3 in the UK charts, number 46 in the US charts, and number 26 in the Canadian charts. It was recorded July 22nd and 23rd, 1983 at the Hammersmith Odeon. It was released on LP and CD. The LP version has a playing time of 88 minutes and 50 seconds, and the CD version has a playing time of 93 minutes and 59 seconds, basically 94 minutes. The album was produced by Mark Knopfler. Now, a little bit of background on this album. I first heard this album as a kid. I was 14. And I heard it on cassette. My brother-in-law, Mario, I've mentioned his name before, was playing this album one on his cassette deck in the basement. And I heard a guitar solo happening, the starting of a guitar solo. And it was the breakdown section of Sultans of Swing. And I just thought it was amazing. Just the way Mark Knopfler was playing. I didn't know anything about the band. I didn't know who the band were. I just heard the startings of a guitar solo, and I just thought it was great. And I never did follow up on it until a few weeks ago. Now, this album again has a varied history. Various versions have been released, Japanese reissues, extended editions of the album. What I have here in my hand is the full-length 14-track original concert. The original release in '84 had 11 tracks on it. The three tracks, which I will go through with you, sorry, are included on this set. Okay, so you have 14 tracks in total, 7 tracks per disc. This is an amazing show. So I'll go through it with you. The opening track, Once Upon a Time in the West, is preceded by the track Stargazer, which is from the Local Hero soundtrack. Also, Tunnel of Love on this release is preceded by an unrecorded instrumental that was added to the extended coda of Portobello Bell that was removed from the track list from the original release of the album. The outtakes on the album include, there were 3 outtakes. They include, as I said, Portobello Bell, Industrial Disease, and Twisting by the Pool, which were remixed and added back into the running order of the album uh, for the 2023 release of this box set. The artwork for this album was adapted from a section of a painting called Alchemy, done by Brett Whiteley. Okay, so it's a fantastic album cover. Again, I'll show it to you. See? Okay, and I'll show you the back. I'll show you more of it after, but I'll show you the back of the cover. All right, so fantastic artwork on this album. There's a lot again to unpack here, so I'll go through with you who was in the band at this point. You have Mark Knopfler on guitar and vocals, Alan Clark on keyboards, John Isley on bass guitar and backing vocals. You have Hal Linz on guitar, backing vocals, and Terry Williams on drums. Okay. Pick Weathers had left the band in 1982. Also joining them on stage, you have Mel Collins on saxophone. Mel Collins, who has been with King Crimson, who would go on to record with Tears for Fears, and Tommy Mandel on keyboards, and Youp de Corte on percussion. I hope I say that right. Now, as I said, this is the newly expanded and remastered edition. The album from I've heard it at least 3 times. Okay. And to me, this is a solid album. It is fantastic. Okay. Um, there are tracks on here that are expanded in spots for instrumental improv, etc. It is not, and forgive me when I say this, it is not your typical rock concert where you hear a lot of roar from the crowd. I mean, you do hear audience participation, but there are several quiet moments in the set that the music really does come through when you listen to it. It's amazing. Starts off with Once Upon a Time in the West, which clocks in at 12 minutes and 48 seconds. Now, again, this is the full version of the concert, so it segues into uh, Industrial Disease. Again, Mark Knopfler's playing on this album is stellar, along with the rest of the band. I really do love the drums. The production on this album is fantastic. The drums come in really full, rich snare sound that comes in with Terry Williams playing. What I do like too is the instruments are separated really well. So each instrument comes through really beautifully and rich in the mix. So after Industrial Disease, you have Espresso Love, clocking in at 5 minutes and 12 seconds. The crowd really does get into it by this point. They're like clapping along, they're whistling, and it's fantastic. It is great. And every once in a while, Mark Knopfler does address the audience, right? After Espresso Love comes Romeo and Juliet, 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Right. So again, beautiful. Love Over Gold is next. And I should also say that this concert was recorded on the Love Over Gold tour. That's the album that they were promoting. Private Investigations comes next, clocking in at 7 minutes and 33 seconds. Really sort of fantastic sort of atmospheric keyboards on this track. Just beautiful. Then, in my very humble opinion, comes the piece de resistance. Okay, pardon my French, or my version of French. You have a fantastic version of Sultans of Swing, clocking in at 10 minutes and 55 seconds, which ends off, excuse me, disc one. Now, Sultans of Swing being, Dire Straits' first release as a single, this version is quite beautiful, quite beautifully done. Sorry. It features a breakdown section where the band is just sort of playing along, just sort of, everything's quiet. You hear the drums, you hear the piano coming in, but then Mark Knopfler starts a guitar solo, very subtle. And I'm not sure if he uses an Echoplex for a kind of like a repeat delay for his guitar, or if it's the other musicians coming in, doing like a call and response with the guitar. But he starts off very subtle with his playing, and then it just slowly builds and builds and builds, and then the rest of the band slowly come back in to finish off the song. It is beautiful. This is what drew my attention to this album in the first place. Back when I was 14, I didn't know again who this band was, sorry, and I didn't know anything about them at this point. I just knew that I loved what I was hearing. Mark Knopfler, as you know, has a very distinctive finger picking guitar style when he plays, and it's beautiful. So that ends up disc one. Disc two starts off with Twisting by the Pool, which was from their extended dance EP, and it was added back in to the running order of the track listing here. Um, it's a good romp. Everyone's getting into it. People are clapping. They're reacting to it really well. And then comes in Two Young Lovers, which at this point Mel Collins comes on stage, and he's introduced by Mark Knopfler, and he plays on Two Young Lovers. After Two Young Lovers is Portobello Bell. Again, 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Beautiful track, beautifully done. Uh, Tunnel of Love is comes next, clocking in at 13 minutes and 55 seconds. Okay. And this is where, the instrumental piece is preceded by Tunnel of Love, and then it segues into it. Beautiful track, just gorgeous. And the crowd is really getting into it. Now, after Tunnel of Love comes Solid Rock. All right. A rocking version of this. I remember seeing them live when they on every street tour, and they did a fantastic version of Solid Rock. This was at the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, which is no longer a concert venue. It's now a supermarket. Go figure, right? After Solid Rock comes a 12-minute and 56 uh, minute version, 12 minutes and 56-second version, sorry, of Telegraph Road from Love Over Gold. Now, fantastic, very atmospheric keyboards, very sort of ominous kind of build up to the track, but beautifully executed. The crowd is really getting into it. They're on their feet, and it is just brilliant. And it ends off with the track Going Home, theme from Local Hero. Okay, instrumental. Beautiful way to end the concert. The crowd is just sort of like kind of stunned that it is executed so brilliantly, right? And that is the end of the show. Now, as I said, this is the expanded and remastered version of this set. Again, I will show it to you, and I'll show you what's on the inside. This package has been beautifully, repackaged and set up for everyone to enjoy through the, again, live 1978 to 1992 box set. That's the front. I'll open up the cover so you can see it. Sorry. They recreated the albums perfectly. There you go. See that? And again, you have the back cover. Okay. Included in this package is a recreation of the poster that came with the album, I would imagine, because it's the first time I've ever owned this. Okay, so you have John Isley and Mark Knopfler there. And the way it's folded, there's a shot of Mel Collins on the back there. There you go. So if you want to get the live 78 to 92 set, it's going for roughly $80 on Amazon.ca. I was able to get mine in no time flat. It's very affordable, not very expensive at all. Originally, it was around 105, so I held off, and I got it for a good, like I said, I got it for just over $80, something like $83 and change with tax and delivery. So you get good bang for your buck. And the sound quality on this concert is amazing. You're not going to get raucous guitar solos and people screaming and going nuts. What they do is they basically, the crowd just lets the band play, and there's a lot of moody parts in the show, very quiet, very somber. But Mark Knopfler's guitar playing and the band overall, their playing is stellar. So please check it out. You can stream the box set content on YouTube. Okay. Once you listen to this album, please put in the comments down below, what you think of the album. Do you have the original 11-track version, or did you splurge and pick up the box set with the full 14-track version of the album? It is simply fantastic. So that's it for now. Please click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content that I've got coming up. I've got more shows coming up in the future with Bill Schuster. And we just have to find a proper time in order to get them done for both of us when we're both free. And yeah, I've also got a show coming up with Ken Cheshire called 3 Points of XTC, where we're going to discuss the band and their sort of 3 stages in terms of their musical development over the years. Okay, so that's coming up. That's going to be taped on the 26th of July. And I'm also going to be doing a show with Jim Bricker. We're going to be doing, hopefully, an album spotlight on the new Pat Metheny release, Moondial. Okay, so that album's coming out July 26th as well. So hopefully, if I can get my copy, we'll be doing a show on the 26th. All right. So again, please look after yourselves and one another. And again, click like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to keep yourselves again on top of any new content that I've got coming up. That's it for now. If again you're in the middle of a heat wave, please try and keep cool. I know here in Edmonton it's going to be 33 degrees Celsius, so it's going to be quite warm. So if you're in a heat wave, keep cool. If you're cool, keep warm, and we'll see you soon with another video. Bye for now.